in the criminal justice system. Oh, wait, shit, excuse me, wrong monologue. In the Black American brunch culture system, the people of Atlanta are represented by two separate but not so equally important groups: the honest and fair food critics and the unrealistic and high maintenance operators of Atlanta brunch culture who poorly service them. These are their stories.
You are now tuned in to the Chaotic Culture Podcast.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue all the latest topics, guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel, just like you're a kid again. Kid, the pro, and friends, black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is supreme. This podcast will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts from finances, music, black business highlights, home ownership, HBCU, sports, black nerdom, anime, wrestling. If it encompasses black culture, we're going to cover it. Live from the 7-5, I am the host and the creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. This is your boy, Ked the Pro, a.k.a. the Calculator Millennial, a.k.a. the Encore presentation. Now, can I get an encore? Do you want more? A.k.a. your favorite toxic adjacent king. Just watch your girl, because if she looked, she took. A.k.a. Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer. The 843 is me, but VA is where I stay. Always chaotic, never toxic most days. Back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. With us starting out today, of course, we got a new member of the squad, as well as, of course, the oldest member of the squad as well. So first and foremost, we are going to introduce to you. Some of y'all may know him, some of y'all may not, but of course, he has been on Chaotic Culture twice now, or actually 3 times now that I think about it. He of course, we did an epilogue at the end of season 2. Of course, we had It Mob join the pod, and then of course we did the first music roundtable of season 5, which of course his agenda got pushed, and somehow or another Lil Jon won best rap group, which is still crazy. But we here now, we here. So of course, he is the founder of Inside the Mind from Blurred and Blurred Mind Productions. And of course, y'all know I'm a part of both. So one time for the one time, ladies and gentlemen, he is the newest host of the Khaotic Culture Podcast, Scuba Steve. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hey man, thanks for letting me be here. You know what I'm saying? Old school. I guess that's what we're gonna have to call it. Shout out to Lil Jon and Eastside Boys for winning best rap group. I think I left for a little bit and somebody lost that shouldn't have. And then I just was like, nah, we're gonna have to push this agenda to get this. I can't remember who fucking lost, but I was like, they lost to whoever was in that championship round. And I was like, no, let's get them out of here. So I ended up voting from not only my page, from the It My page, and then the Blurred My production page. And it was enough. It was enough to tip the scales by 2 votes.
Agenda.
Yeah, indeed. Man. But man, I'm glad to be here, bro. Like for real. I be wanting to talk about music and shit like that. But you know, we really be touching on comics, video games, TV. We don't really touch on music as much as we, you know what I'm saying, we could or we should. So this is actually gonna be a nice little avenue for me to get that off, man, because I listen to a lot of music in my car, man. Just being in Uber, doing Ubers all the time, and then doing that transportation job I was doing. So yeah, man. So I'm happy to be here.
Hey, I feel that, man. I feel that. Of course, joining us as well is the first co-pilot of the Khaotic Culture Podcast, Law. Please introduce yourself, sir.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Law, aka Lawrence, aka Murder. We're back again, another week, another episode. Excited to see what we dive into this week. I hear we're going to be talking about some very interesting topics, so buckle your seatbelts and hang on, because we're about to depart.
Indeed. So First things first, as we begin every episode, we like to start off with our mental health check. Uh, this can be quick or as long as anybody wants to take. Of course, just say what's on the mind, say how you feeling this week, and let it be known, what you're going through, and maybe you don't want to let everybody know, and that's perfectly fine as well. But this is your opportunity, to speak on how your mental health has been. So, Scuba Steve, how's your mental health, sir?
I mean, shoot, it's better now. Being on the road for a month and a half away from my kids and stuff like that, that was taking a toll on me a little bit. Now I'm back home, and then I was low key stressed about like doing some of the Wake the Dead stuff that I do with my production company, the audiobook side, and I felt like I wasn't contributing as much on one end. Like on the back end, I was doing like, what I'm saying, a lot of like other stuff like that, getting things together and stuff. But I was letting Alpha run the show, and I couldn't really jump in there the way I wanted to help. So I did feel like I was causing stress on everybody else, which causing me to have stress. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
other than that, man, I'm good now. Being able to trick or treat with my kids and do some family stuff and stuff like that really helped out. So I'm good now. But for a while, I was like, ugh. I was like, I feel like, what I'm saying, I'm doing an extra job to chase my dreams, but I'm not actually doing anything, what I'm saying, with my dreams, if that makes sense. So it kind of was getting annoying.
Hmm. Hey, man, I understand. Listen, that road life can be rough. And this is coming from somebody who rents trucks and cars for a living. Like, trust me, I get it. I absolutely get it.
Bro.
So I'm just glad that you were able to, you know, take some time off and finally were able to get back home and spend some time with your kids.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Like it was starting to remind me of deployments and stuff like that. And I was like, nah. I was like, that's the whole reason why I got out the army.
Out.
Mm,
Yeah, I get you. That's the reason why you
mm,
got out. So hey,
mm.
say less, man. Say less. Law, I know this has been kind of a rough week, man, for the both of us, but I just wanted to see how you feeling today and if everything's a little better.
Yeah. So started this month or end of last month, bittersweet because I had to miss homecoming because of work. Um, still realizing what it means to be an adult. I think me and Nasa are the youngest of the pod, so coming in at 27, um, it
Mm.
was like I was up 1 month. My birthday was last month, and then it turned around and it started this month. It's just been a doozy. Had a passing in the family. Someone I literally grew up with from middle school through high school, and um, it's kind of bittersweet. So I just encourage everybody to reach out to your loved ones. If you all have had disagreements, whatever, you know, let the bygones be bygones because there's nothing worse than not being able to pick up the phone and call the people that you may or may not have been at source with. Um, yeah, this last quarter of the year is definitely definitely hitting hard, and so
Hmm.
I'm just like I said, I'm strapped in. I'm not gonna give up, but y'all just keep me in prayer, keep my family in prayer, and yeah, it's
Always, man.
lose.
Always. And listen, I get it, man. As someone who also lost a family member, this past summer, I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling at all. And then, uh, on top of that, with everything that you got going on as far as adulting and figuring out adult life and having to work, it sucks. But I know that we would definitely like keep you in prayer. And then, as always, if you need anybody to talk to, you got us to lean on. So feel free to give us a call or give us a shout, man. Even if you just got to drop by the crib one time just to wind down, just let me know. My door is always open.
I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, man. For me, I will say that the last week or homecoming week was phenomenal. And then work has been really kind of bogging me down as well. I've also I didn't have a loss in the family, but changes in uh family plans had to happen, unfortunately, because I do have a family member who is very sick at the moment as well. On top of the fact of, with me still paying attention to my grandmother and her health. So it's just been a very, very up and down week for myself. Some old feelings and some old emotions came back that I thought that I was completely over, but clearly that was not the case. So just having to take time to myself, pray, try to set up a meeting with my therapist as soon as possible, but ultimately trying to distract myself by doing things that I enjoy. So, uh, needless to say, I'm going to talk about homecoming in a second, but it was a very rough week. But overall, I think some good did happen, and we'll just continue to build from that. And I think that's all that I can ask for. So, with that in mind, I really just want to jump into this real quick, because I know that I was really the only one out of the Hamptonians on this pod who actually got a chance to go to Hampton's homecoming. And let me just say that a 32-year-old kid is not 22-year-old kid. I realized that very, very quickly because I picked up a pair of the 20-inch cymbals for the first time since 2009. When that was my freshman year at Hampton, and that's when I marched the Dubs. And then I went to 18s my sophomore year, and then I went to Quince. I went to an entirely different instrument on my junior and senior year. But picking up Dubs for the first time in 14 years, you think that you have the same kind of endurance because, like, oh man, I've been in the gym, I've been lifting, I'm good to go. I should be able to carry these things. Hell no. Trying to play those cymbals for an extended period of time was like, oh my gosh, I'm not used to this pain. Like I remember why I hated playing the Dubs in my freshman year because these shits was heavy. So I think it disappeared now, but I ended up getting a glory scar on my arm because you choke wrong, and yeah, it'll happen. You'll get bruises if you're not careful.
Eat that on
But
right on up.
exactly,
Everybody
and
get them.
but at the same time, you know what? I had fun. My body is not what it used to be. Though if you saw that video on my profile, that move, oh no, I got hella endurance for it. It's just a matter of actually carrying the cymbals, which was the that was the bad part. But I done got a few unsolicited comments about that video. I'm just gonna be like, listen, this is what I used to do as a cymbal player. I don't know what they do now, but this is how we used to get down. So I had a couple of my classmates like, why was you wilding at the on the tunnel like that? I was like, this is what I used to do when I was marching. She said, I never seen that. Sheesh.
You
Well,
attention.
I was like, yeah, you were. I was like, oh, you really wasn't paying attention, but this is what I used to do. But in any case, homecoming was a good experience. It was my class's 10-year anniversary. We had fun. We drank. We held jokes. We talked. Caught up with some classmates I ain't seen since 2009. Caught up with some people I ain't seen since graduation. The liquor was, of course, bountiful. I didn't get any Noop juice this time, but hey, I had to say it. Like, listen, there was liquor everywhere I turned. I was like, oh, I had my own handle, and then somebody else was like, hey, here's a cup of sticky juice. I'm like, oh, well, don't mind if I do. So now I didn't get any of the Noop juice this time, but that'll come. I will probably make our own batch sometime this month too, because it's that season where probate season happens. So I know it's gonna be on deck. But homecoming was really, really fun. This is actually one of the best Hampton homecomings that I've had in a long time. And usually homecoming is good, but then sometimes it might be hit or miss. But this one I thoroughly enjoyed from start to finish. And so the shout out to the new president, President Darrell K. Williams, because he said we're gonna change this joint around. And you know how the students had their own little homecoming concert. Well, the alumni had theirs at the alumni mixer. So I was just like, damn, we got two homecoming concerts for real, for real. This ain't never happened before.
Yeah.
Like he was pulling out all the funds. So for the students, he had Nardo Wick, Mariah the Scientist, and Lola Brooke.
Damn.
Yeah. For the alumni, he had there was this cover band called Lakeside that showed up. You had Rare Essence, which is a go-go band, on one stage, and then on the other stage, Jermaine Dupri actually came by for a hot second. He was late, and then of course they told him that he couldn't stay because he was late. But he did a quick 20-minute set. Then we had SWV, who was the best performance by far. Like, I'm glad that I finally got a chance to say I saw SWV live. Then, oddly enough, Steve, Armani White was at the alumni performance, and a lot of the alumni didn't know who he was. I knew who he was. I was like, it probably would have fit better for the younger students because I know a lot of y'all don't know who he is.
Hey, he be
But we
going
would,
in.
hey, no, he still did a good show. And I had to tell some of them, I was like, it's probably one of those situations where his schedule didn't align to come that Wednesday. So instead he came Friday, or maybe they just, I don't know. I think that it was a scheduling issue, but they wanted him to still perform because they paid him. So they were like, hey, come on Friday and perform as well. And then the headliner was Big Boy from Outkast.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, that was the headliner, and I stayed the entire time. So it was a good experience. And of course, the Saturday game was great. I snuck out in the third quarter to go to the alumni tents and get more liquor and get food and shit. But I got back in time for the end of the game, and Hampton did beat North Carolina A&T. So a shout out to us. We actually are going to have more than 5 wins for the first time in a while. Or, well, I won't say more than 5 wins, but it's the first time the Hamptons football team has had 5 wins in quite the long time. So shout out to them. I'm a little disappointed though because as of this recording, y'all are gonna hear this Wednesday, but we're recording the Tuesday before. But Monday, Hampton played Howard in basketball, and Howard actually won, and that hasn't happened in a long time. Not in basketball anyway. So I'm just like, yikes. Okay,
funny enough, my one of my homeboys had went to Hampton and play on a basketball scholarship back in the day. This is years ago, but he used to hoop for them. So I used to always be catching his games online and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, back when Hampton was like semi good.
Probably like because this is back in like 05, 06, stuff like that. So
okay, yeah, they were really decent that year.
Those years. We're about to say yeah. So I'm about to say it's funny enough, but you talking about homecoming, you make me think about. I saw all the pictures of PV homecoming.
I saw those pictures too, bro.
I was jealous, bro. I was jealous.
I mean, hold on. Speaking of PV homecoming, I don't know if y'all had seen the video, but there was a DJ booth and a young lady who was shall I say, risking it all for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I saw the video and I was like, yeah, she really wanted to be on camera.
It just clicked which video y'all talking about. Oh boy,
my people,
yeah,
my people.
Oh man, yeah,
it's not worth it.
It had fun. It had fun, but it was just like, oh, your mama gonna beat your.
Well, speaking of homecomings as well, I just wanted to say there was a couple of videos of Norfolk State's homecoming. One where the fans was they bum rushed the gate. Like it was a whole massive one. I saw one girl was like actually climbing over the fence and whatnot, but then a whole bunch of students or whoever it was, they just lifted up the gate and they all just kind of bum rushed that joint. I was like, okay, then, well, shit. And then another video where, for those who know about the Spartan Legion or Norfolk State's marching band, they have this thing called the Spartan Guard, and the guard was throwing. They was fighting the football team, not Norfolk's team, but Morgan State's football team. And boy, the Spartan Guard got wrecked, but obviously. But in all of the videos where I've seen, like anytime that you hear about the Spartan Guard fighting, you usually see like they holding their own. But this is against the Morgan State football team. It was like, damn, bro, y'all over here getting wrecked. But I don't know what happened. I don't know what started it. I just saw the video. The football team was throwing bows and throwing them folk around. I was like,
Was it like Drumline when it was like, well, who you throwing for? Man, I was throwing for myself.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Did anybody jump in and help, dude? Or
I don't know, bro, because all I saw was the guard fighting. I didn't see any of the other band members engage. And I don't know if it was where it was like it was at the end of the tunnel. I don't know if they was marching in. I don't have any details, bro. But apparently there was an investigation going on about the fight. So I guess we'll hear more details as they pop up. But yeah. And speaking of which, the aficionado Sappy has officially joined us.
Hello.
Hello there, Sappy. How are you?
I am alive, barely. I'm trying to see if I can connect my headphones. So if I go away, that's my fault, y'all.
It's not a problem. You know, we'll bring you back. But yeah, we were just Can you one more time?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
All right, bet.
But yes, Abby, we were just actually talking about homecoming shenanigans that happened. You know, I talked about Hampton's
That I
homecoming.
didn't
We talked
attend.
about yes, I know you really missed a great homecoming. There's always next year.
I did. It's all good. Next year.
Right, yeah. Next year is gonna be a good homecoming too. So then we were just talking about the situation that happened at PV's homecoming with the girl at the DJ booth, and then we
the multiple.
Oh, run it back.
Yeah.
Run it back. What
Run it back.
happened?
let's just say fruits and vegetables were used in a very promiscuous.
Nah, bro. Wait. Whoa. Is this a video that I should search for or no?
I mean, you can look up PV homecoming. It might be the first thing to pop up, but to give you a
that's wild.
The eggplant emoji is crazy for use as size now, guys. Like after, there's no way that anybody is wanting an eggplant.
Human anatomy does not work like that.
Wow.
I mean, to be fair, they did.
This is the new definition of throat goat.
They started off with things more to what's the word? To scale. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the whipped cream as a lubricant.
As a lubricant is crazy.
Very. Oh boy.
Hey, bro, that's wild.
Yeah, they started with like bananas.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Just
so
normal
more to scale, and then
it just got out of hand.
They just brought out a whole eggplant, and I was just like, "Yo,
yeah, got a little out of hand.
Yeah, that's wild. First of all, I don't think that's a place. Well, never mind. Homecoming is homecoming. Do you?
Bro, PV is not a real place because they got other videos where like dude body slammed the girl and all of a sudden a charger came out of nowhere and ran him over. It was like it was some crazy stuff going on at PV. Yeah, that was PV. Hey, PV used to be wild already, so I already know it's still
used to be. It seems like it still is.
Damn, but maybe it was a good thing I didn't go to PV.
Man, when I was at PV, it was just like that's all we were doing was fight. Like, so I know that's what it's kind of still like that. So
wow,
that's wicked.
That is absolutely crazy. But you know what?
But PV, it's productive people over there still though. Yes. Some people doing the right things. Some people.
Shout out to the storm.
The marching storm, yes.
The marching storm, absolutely. Hey, and then Sappy, we also just talked about the Norfolk State incident where in one video you had
my God.
All the students bum rushing the protective gate.
I saw that.
And then the other video where it was the Spartan Guard versus the Morgan State football team and how the Spartan Guard got pretty much mollywopped.
Damn. I got respect for them though.
Hey, listen, they tried. They tried. They wouldn't back down, but boy, they was catching them hands. So So that's all I can really say to that is a more power to y'all. But homecoming, especially at HBCU, there are things that great things always happen and then crazy things always happen. But I've heard, I saw all the video, not the videos, but just like all the screen or the sky shots of Jiho. For those who don't know who Jiho, that's greatest homecoming on earth of North Carolina A&T. I saw a lot of sky shots of how big they do it. I saw a lot of pictures of South Carolina State's homecomings. I think this year a lot of the HBCU homecomings really did their thing. So if you had the opportunity to attend an HBCU, I'm gonna just say it's nothing like it.
I do want to put a brief caveat out there, as being a former resident of North Carolina and North Carolinian. Central has to stop with the back and forth with A&T for who had the best homecoming.
There's no competition.
There really isn't. And the comparison photo that I kept seeing was, I guess, their yard versus A&T's, and people have to put things into scale. A&T is about pretty much the size of, I'll say, like, if you've ever been on a campus as a listener, we have a VA hospital beside it. A&T's campus goes about the distance from the highway to the VA hospital plus Hampton's campus. And that's just giving a rough estimate. Central's campus is a little bit smaller. It is probably about the size of Hampton's campus, maybe going into like the parking lot area of the VA hospital. So to try to capture all of the attendees, it's not really a comparison. And you got to think about it. They have been saying or been coining A&T's homecoming Jiho for as long as I have probably been alive. So, for y'all to now say that Central had the greatest homecoming on earth, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all have y'all opinion, but there is none like the original. And I was attending Jiho when I ain't had no business to be attending Jiho.
Hey, it happens like that sometimes, man.
You sneak away for a weekend. Mom, I'm staying at Brad's house. All right. And we on the road 4 hours to go and party with the people who just recently graduated high school that are at Jiho. So yeah, good times. But
hey, speaking of North Carolina, I might have purchased my Dreamville Fest ticket this morning.
Man, my best friend still ain't get back to me on this. I had the website open to purchase tickets.
Is it sold out already?
Probably.
Nah.
Okay.
This morning it sent a link and said that to purchase it. So I was in there like at the 300 range or whatever, and I was like looking through about to buy it. And for some reason, I was reading all the fucking stipulations and stuff for some reason. So 10 minutes later, when I clicked it, it was saying all the 309 ones, those were sold out. I had to go up to 449.
Okay, so the cheap ones are sold out.
Yeah,
the cheaper ones, excuse me, because they ain't really cheap, but
yeah.
Okay, damn.
What that ticket going for?
Shoot, it's 449. Was the one I got.
They got a payment plan?
Yeah, they do. Some of them was like 509 and stuff like that.
I tell you right now, 309 is still going for it. They still going right now. 309.
I know you lying because I tried to buy them shits like 3 times this morning.
Oh
damn!
Like I kept on trying every time I tried to buy them, they kept saying sold out. Oh, you on the website?
Yeah.
Because I was doing it on my phone, and like every time I refreshed it, it was saying 309 was sold out.
Look, pulls out.
Everything else is there is a wait list.
I'm mad as hell.
I might have to.
They play me.
Listen, I got played. What up, Zuko? And for those who don't know, Zuko is Zappy's dog.
Y'all hear him whining in the background? My bad, y'all.
I think you got the headphones in, so I can't hear anything.
He said, "Let me get some screen time."
No, we don't need nothing.
I feel that. Speaking of Dreamville tickets, yeah, I think I'm going to maybe not this week, but the week after. Even if it's the more expensive one, I think I'm gonna try and slide out there because I've been wanting to go to the Dreamville Festival for a minute now. Um, it's going to be at the beginning of the month, and I know something in the water is probably going to be the same month. It's going to be at the very end of April, unless they decide to do something different. So that'll be
Wasn't
interesting to
something
try
in
to
the
go to
water in
both.
July though?
And no, it was only in July in 2022. This
Okay, that's the
past
year that
year
I
it
went.
was at the end. Yeah, that's the year that it was in DC, and that's also the year I first caught COVID out there because just there.
Me too. You probably who I got it from then.
Yeah, I remember who I got it from, and I remember how it happened because I was talking to homie, and he actually, like, when he talked, he it was one of those say it don't spray it kind of moments, and he definitely sprayed it. And then I
Ooh.
go on his IG, and I see that this dude caught the flu, quote unquote, and I'm like, oh, and then I started getting symptoms, and I'm like, let me take a COVID test. Sure enough, had it.
You got
Thankfully, it was
smoke.
there was a few weeks before the DreamCon, and when DreamCon was still in Dallas. So thankfully, everything cleared up. But that's and Steve can remember that's the main reason why I was still majority wearing my mask throughout that entire con that year anyway.
Tisk.
But in any case,
Running route.
we will go ahead and move on to our next topic. This is just gonna be real quick. Did anybody see Megan Thee Stallion's new video, Cobra?
I did not. I'm
Did
not gonna lie. I've seen the reviews though.
I basically saw the little clips, but that's it. I didn't actually watch the video.
Got it. So this will be just fairly quick because I did see the video. She did put she had a huge budget for that joint, so more power to her. If you've actually listened to the song, it's actually kind of dark because it does go into like her depression. It goes into the things that she was dealing with as far as her parents passing, her grandma passing, party cheating on her, getting shot, just a lot of things that she was dealing with uh throughout these last couple years. So if you haven't gotten a chance to at least listen to it, I encourage you to do so. Now, if you decide to watch it, I mean, it's a Megan Thee Stallion video, so you're gonna see some shit. But that coupled with the lyrics, it's like, dang, okay, I get it. But she does a little sultry dance at the end, and I thought, okay, all right, I see you out here, Megan. Continue doing what you do. That's all I can say. That is that woman is blessed, to say the
highly
least.
favored.
I was seeing
Yes.
some people make the comments that was her opportunity to do like a Love Is Blind Eve type video, and she went the opposite way with it and stuff like that. So I saw some comments where people was reacting like that, but for me, I myself would not be complaining. But I see some people in the comments saying that shit. They was all like, "No, this was her moment. This was her moment." I was all like, I'm good. I was like, I'm good. I'm good with what we saw.
Yeah.
At least in the clip.
Listen, I was like, yo, I'm gonna watch this whole video. If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna watch a Megan Thee Stallion video. That's just me personally. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
No sound on it all. I'm just watching it.
It's like, listen, I don't even gotta listen. I just watch.
Third screen. Oh man.
All right, but yeah, for those of you who actually want to take a chance and watch it, like, please do so and definitely listen to it. Again, Megan has proven time and time again that she can spit, and the subject matter is very deep. So definitely, please be sure that you tune in if you want to hear something that's different from the usual Megan Thee Stallion tracks. As far as the Megan Thee Stallion visuals, well, those are the same, but still, it was a good video. So I have to give her props for that. Real quick, are there any new show recommendations or new music recommendations out here? I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out real early.
Who just dropped that I was listening to? Bum, 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 bum. Also, for those that do and do not know, if I'm not mistaken, if you have, all right, so Tidal now has a subscription type thing going on. So I think based upon what subscription you get, certain concerts you can actually stream live through the app.
Okay.
Brent dropped. That was okay.
Yeah, Brent Fires dropped. It wasn't as good as his last couple albums were to me.
Nope.
Damn.
I didn't even know he dropped something.
I didn't either.
Go ahead and add that to the.
I will just tell you again to not have. I'm not gonna say don't have high expectations. And caveat to that, I think we have to also stop remembering artists for where they once started, and also realize where they have evolved to.
People can evolve.
Yes, folks can evolve, but
folks can also devolve too.
For the better, and
that as well.
You are right, kid.
So okay, I did see that Brent Fires dropped. Also, while listening to an Alex Isley album, I did not realize that she also dropped another album as well. So
let me go
was that
with that. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I left my heart in Ladera with Terrace Martin. For those who know, my boy on sax. If you have not listened to Terrace, you've heard Terrace Martin. Like if you listen to Kendrick, you know who Terrace Martin is, or you should know who Terrace Martin is. But yeah, she has an album with Terrace Martin called "I Left My Heart in Ladera," and I happened to stumble upon it while I was re-listening to Marigold. I was literally just at work listening to it, and I'm like, wait, she dropped an album? Oh, well, let me tune into that. I haven't tapped in yet, but that is definitely on my queue. So yeah, for those who are R&B heads, yes, definitely be sure that you check out Alex Isley. If you don't know who that is that's Eddie's daughter, right?
Ernie.
I don't know why I said Eddie. Golly, God.
Man, speaking of the Isley brothers, I was trying to get tickets to their show on Sunday. First of all, why are their tickets so goddamn expensive? It's just the two of them, and they got new music. But then again, it was at MGM, so I was a little upset. But I ended up not going. Can you move?
Yep.
MGM, you doing something? T Grizzly album dropped today. I listened to the first two songs. I haven't got to really dive into it yet. But
I said, what is Sir Grizzly talking about?
Fucking just stories about murdering people. Is that it's just basically this nigga just get different stories, and it's like, oh, I ran up on somebody and I went to this dude's house to go see him, and his grandma was in there. Like one of the videos that just released was like somebody was reacting to it on TikTok. And dude was basically T Grizzly went to this dude's house to go see his homeboy. His grandma opened the door, and he chopping it up with her throughout the whole song. And then when he finally go see his homeboy, the homeboy is the new plug, and he scared him and stuff because he just got out. So he ended up killing the homeboy, and the grandma come in there, and he killed the grandma too. And I'm like, bro, it's just basically stories about killing people or robbing people, hitting licks. That's all it is. It ain't actually. I mean, I don't know how the album went completely because that's
his version of Tony's story. Remember Meek Mill's Tony story?
Yeah, pretty much stuff like that. Oh, that's the videos that I've been seeing that he's been releasing. But I see that he got Mariah the Scientist on here, Chris Brown on there twice, 21 Savage. So he got a few features on there, City Girls. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a spin tomorrow, probably on my rides.
Okay.
What did y'all think for All the Dogs?
I meant to do a review episode on that. Yeah,
Nasty.
yeah. I gave it a few listens.
Oof, you got a few.
I just so I could one
It
where
was
I
in
can listen
rotation
to
more
just
than
to see
once.
listen, the other to listen to it just so I can kind of actually critique it. Um, it's not his worst album. I'm gonna just leave it at that because honestly,
Wow.
Nevermind to me is still his worst.
Yeah, that's
But
just
You said
but
which one was the worst?
I said honestly, Nevermind is still his worst album in my opinion.
Oh no, I
true.
love that album. I
I
really
I
love that album.
I don't
I've
I
tried.
can't. I've
I like
tried.
it because
I've
it's a different
tried.
Drake, but it's still a good Drake.
I've
Maybe
given
because
it
I like house music.
Mm,
and see. It's not that I
that's
don't
the thing. It wasn't a good
dislike.
house album to me. That's the
Yeah, that's what I
problem
was
to
for me. It was like
me.
I don't dislike house music. I just this wasn't a good house album to me. But anyway, um, yeah, that album.
You know what it feel like though? All of these recent albums, it just feels like it's like stuff from the vault. Like he's just releasing. He got a whole bunch of shit in the vault. He like, hell, let me make money off of it. So let me just release it. That's what it's given.
to, to
It, it,
me,
it
I feel like he haven't had any life moments happen because he's putting out music 2 albums a year. I'm like, you don't have no life events going on, so you don't got nothing to really talk about. So I feel like that's what's killing some of his music for me right now because of the fact that he don't have any life events and stuff that something to talk about.
and honestly, that boils down to the comment he made where he's like, I'm not like one of these guys that wait, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to make an album. I'm like, well, bro, maybe you should
You need some
because
inspiration. You need
yeah,
to be inspired
exactly.
before you drop an album, bro.
At 100% because I know that was I guess a subtle dig at Kendrick who waited 5 years before he dropped Mr. Morale, but Kendrick went through a whole lot of shit in those 5 years.
Yeah,
Whereas it's like you dropping music like as you said 2 albums every year, and it's like, bro, you not really going through anything, and you staying relevant and still making music, but you not giving yourself a break or giving yourself the opportunity to have life experiences. So
Yeah, you giving us
it's
30
just like
songs a year and 4 of them are replayable. And the rest of them are just
yeah,
out of
like
there.
filler
I
album.
8 a.m. in Charlotte, I can live with having replay value. Everything else is kind of like, maybe. I don't know. It's just it feels like he has no motivation whatsoever to make music again, and I'm just like, yeah, you keep doing this shit. Like the hunger is not there anymore. The drive is not there anymore. You releasing stuff and you know it's gonna sell because the name Drake is now
That's
it's too
stupid.
big to fail at
Mhm.
this point.
I didn't know we was going that far back. So if that's the case, then I did like the even though I mean it's a different vibe. I like the Tiger and YG album. Um I like YG. YG give me hype, even though lyrically that's not what I'm looking for. But like
Hmm.
when it's like that vibe of what I want, trying to get hype, I fuck with YG. So I enjoyed that album.
I actually haven't gotten a chance to listen to it. It's on my queue though, but like I've got a lot of stuff that I gotta like comb through because there's just it's really hard to keep up with so much music, being out in the internet and whatnot. It's really hard to keep up, but
Mm.
I will definitely revisit that.
And I think
Uh,
Collie Grove 2 came out as well.
hmm, that was something that I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I think that
Uh,
came out as well.
and if it hasn't, then I
Um,
know it's coming out soon.
y'all listen to Money Man?
Mm-mm.
No, we got about another week or so for Cali Grove.
Oh, we
Okay,
got another week.
we got another week back.
Um, Money Man, he dropped Croptober recently. You know, he
Okay.
telling you about how to get an LLC.
Yeah. Uh, I know of Money Man. I know that I'm not like his biggest fan, but I will definitely put that album in rotation. That's definitely something that I would do. I know that the man gets hella listens.
Did you listen to Kid Cudi and Pharrell's collab?
I did listen to that collab song that
I thought
dropped.
it was different. It was
It
interesting.
definitely was. It's definitely different for Cuddy anyway. So yeah, I got at the party like in rotation, and I was like, oh, you know what? I actually dig it. It's different for Cuddy, but it kind of works. Oh, Someone else just dropped while I was looking through. I know Steve had said something about Mariah the Scientist being on T Grizzly's album. But speaking of which, Mariah the Scientist actually did just drop an album. So
Oh, really?
I haven't peeped it yet, but that's definitely going to be going on my list as well. So it's a lot of music that's actually coming out.
Yeah, this month is
Tis
supposed
the
to be real.
season. Yeah.
Indeed. And we all know Christmas season is coming back up, so y'all already know. Like everybody gonna be playing the Christmas music. I wait until after
In my
Thanksgiving before I start
mind.
playing.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
hey, see,
Could
that's one
somebody
I could
say
probably tolerate before
in
Christmas.
my... What? Are
I
you serious? The Jackson 5
listen.
Christmas album is already in rotation. I don't play about the Christmas holiday. What?
Gucci Man is
I
clubhouse.
love Christmas and I love Christmas music, but I cannot hear it before Thanksgiving. I have to at least wait till
First of
Thanksgiving
all, if I
passes
could do
and
it
then
24/7, I would.
see I'm
Same.
not like that at all.
One album that I do kind of like randomly listen to is CeeLo Green's Christmas album. I fuck
That
with
is a good
CeeLo.
album.
Hey,
Yeah.
and listen, his rendition of "Mary Did You Know" is still one of my absolute favorites. So
Mhm. Yeah, so I
But
fuck with
nothing
that.
beats the "What Did the Lonely Do at Christmas." That is a song. What do they
that is
do?
a great song.
CeeLo, between CeeLo and Pentatonics, I'll run them Christmas albums to the
Pentatonics
dirt.
Christmas. What? Oh my God, I love Pentatonics. I'm still mad I'll be
I'll run
left,
them
but it's
albums to the
okay.
dirt. Yeah, Ivy was saying it was too fast paced. He couldn't keep up because he was
I
older
get
than they
it.
was.
I get it.
he,
But my
he was
man, take one for the team.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh boy, ain't doing what he need to do. I mean, he black, so I'm gonna root for him anyway. But
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. We can't root against him,
he not giving what I
but
need.
Ivy was that nigga though. Like people,
Okay.
yeah, people didn't understand like how important that him and what's the black dude
Kevin.
that played 13 different instruments and shit
Kevin.
and speak like 20. Kevin, well, them niggas, they was
Mhm.
really carrying the group like with the back.
On their backs.
Yeah, especially when they was on what's the shit called the singing competition joint that they was on
See, now that you said it, I can't even think of
Was it
it.
the
they was in
single?
they was in the acapella singing group singing competition before. That's how they
Yeah, it
got
was this. I think it was called the sing
the
off.
sing-off?
That was the one with Afro Blue
Yeah.
in it too.
Yeah, like that shit was fire. The reason why that shit was so impressive because it's only 5 of them. And them acapella groups come up there with 16, 18 different people, and it's only 5 of them, and they doing the same thing. They
And
wearing
they
the app.
killed it. Man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we can talk about
Shout out to
Pentatonics
them
all day.
Yeah, I
all
was
day.
gonna say, man, that's a whole different segment. But yeah, there's a lot of music that's dropped, guys, and we will of course keep you guys updated on what we're listening to and what's been going on. So our next music roundtable that we do on pod, not on X/Twitter, whatever, is going to be Dreamville. So
Let's go.
Yeah.
We having a good start for me.
Yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be a great episode. That is probably coming around New Year's. So and I wanted to do that for New Year's to give people time to listen to all the projects that are underneath Dreamville, because we know that there are and to be fair, when you have with Earth Gang, I have to make the disclaimer like we're not doing every album that Earth Gang has ever done because some of their albums were not on the Dreamville. Yeah, I know. I was like, dang, I gotta go all the way back to Shallow Grapes for
I
Toys.
feel like I still got a couple mixtapes from Hampton that they was handing out.
Listen, I got one of their mixtapes somewhere in my crate. But we only stick it to the albums that they released on Dreamville's imprint, which was only 2 albums, an EP, and then a compilation album, not including Revenge of the Dreamers. I believe it was Spill Legend, but when trying to incorporate their entire body of work in that playlist, I was like, yo, we ain't never gonna get done in a decent amount of time. So we're just again sticking with albums and projects that they released underneath Dreamville, just like we did with TDE. So but of course with J. Cole, we gotta do everything that he's done because I mean he's the founder of Dreamville. So yeah.
I was gonna say shout out to them as well for starting their scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I feel so bad, but I saw that and I was like, dang, Harvey was really holding folks back.
He
I ain't never seen
did,
so much
man.
happen at Hampton in 1 year. And I'm like, dang, dude.
Listen, Sappy. Um, it's just so incredibly hopeful, but also sad because, as you said, with I don't want to speak ill on Dr. Harvey, but you can really just tell that a lot of people did not mess with him. And the moment that President Williams gets in and starts making these positive changes, now all of a sudden you see Town Bank giving $1 million. You see different programs being started at the university. You see another degree program coming into the university.
Yep.
Earth Gang starting a scholarship with help from Title. I'm just sitting here like, can somebody just give them their degrees? Because they
Right.
were literally a couple days from graduating and got out by
Nah, they
5 for
was
some
out by
stupidness.
5. Yeah, oh well. Everybody know out by 5, they don't play about that.
I,
Nope.
I I know, but I'm really just like, man, can y'all make an exception for them because they donated money? They still going strong and literally was literally to like a couple of days away from walking the stage. Just give it to them at this stage, but that's not
I
my
remember
call.
that too. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
That's
Now
wild.
Jid, I understand, Jid didn't finish his degree program because dude was gone before we knew what happened, but it is what it is. And shout out to Jid too, who also went to Hampton. So we are going to go to the next one. And new shows. Are there any new shows? I know Loki is going crazy right now. I haven't actually watched season 2 yet, but that's something that I'm going to be jumping into probably as soon as we get finished with potting. Invincible has come back, so
Yes, sir.
yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. We'll be watching
I
that.
have a list.
I was about to say, yeah, we
I
talk
have
about
a
TV
list.
shows. We're gonna be here a minute.
I know. So let's stick to like a couple shows, and then we can move on to the
All
next
right, I'll give
topic.
y'all 3. Have y'all seen Gen
Okay,
V yet?
Yes, sir. Yes,
What?
sir.
Mind
everybody's
All
blown.
on my
watching
That
it.
list.
I'm
finale,
not there yet. I-
But
get on it.
I'm
y'all
not.
don't.
Second,
I'm I'm still running through the boys. Give me a second. I'm not there yet.
sir, you're still on the
Gen V
boys.
was.
Yes, I'm still
Yes.
behind, guys.
You have, yeah, you gotta watch the boys to because it's
I mean, you
they
don't
basically just
necessarily
passing
need
it
to,
back and
but the
forth.
season finale makes sense.
I'm gonna get there.
You might need to watch. Season 3 is super important as far as like the Soup Lives Matter and stuff that goes on through that. That's important
Yes,
to the Gen V
that's true.
storyline.
That's true.
Is this all
Yeah,
But
Netflix?
also on
but
Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
No, that's on Amazon Prime.
Copy.
Also on Amazon Prime is Upload. That season just started. I think
Mhm.
they got only a few. I think 3 episodes is out so far. Well, I've only seen 3 episodes, but that's really good. And then another show that is phenomenal so far is called Black Cake. It's based off a book, but this one it is so good. Y'all need to watch that.
Yeah, I watched
Say
Gen
less.
V like you did. Uh, Loki, like Ked said. Um, Invincible finna go insane right now because I read the comic already. So yeah, it's Invincible finna go crazy this season.
Mm.
I watched The Changeling with Lakeith Stanfield on Apple TV.
Yes, that was good.
That shit is fire. Um, Ted Lasso last season came out. Um, the Morning Show new season is coming out, and if I'm not mistaken, what's the Jew? Severance season 2 is about to come out as well. I don't know if you watch Severance, Sappy, but you
On
that,
Apple,
get on,
yes,
yeah, get on that one.
yes. What?
But yeah,
Yes.
I think that's it. There's other stuff, but I watch so much stuff. Yeah, we'll be here all day.
Indeed. That's all. That's not all that I had because I also had a couple anime. For those who are Attack on Titan fans, it has finally ended.
The
Bum, bum, bum,
finals.
bum,
So,
Yep.
bum.
yep, the final episode aired this past weekend. Some people have certain feelings about it, and some people are, you know, indifferent about it. Me, I never had a problem with the ending, so I was just like, okay, it's over. It was a great series.
Now
That's kind of how I see it. But
I'm catching
uh,
Dr. Stone,
yes, that's going crazy right now.
JJK's. Bro, them animators are getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
They need to.
They need to, because I'm telling you, like, I'm like, yo, I need the next one. I need, like, they need to be dropping, like, 2 a week instead of 1 a week, because I really want to see how everything is finna progress through everything.
Man,
If
listen.
you read it, you know how it go, but, like, to actually see it and, like, there are no words.
Hey, and listen, and I told a lot of people, I said this season is about to be full of a lot of trauma. So y'all just get. I wasn't one of those people saying just get ready and telling people, oh, y'all about to be feeling this, this, and this. I just said, just be mindful about when you watch the season. Just be prepared. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna tell you how to be prepared which way or how, but yeah, that's all I can tell people. And sure enough, I'm like, we ain't even got to the part that's really gonna cause a lot of trauma. But I'm gonna leave. No spoilers. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Uh, and then for did you have anything else, Law? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, right now I'm just on an anime kick. I'm just catching up on everything that I haven't been watching.
Mm-hmm.
You on
That's real.
Undead Unluck?
Shh, man, bruh, that great. That is a. I never thought that it would be as hilarious as it was, but I enjoy this show thoroughly.
That's my shit. I read it. I haven't actually watched the episode yet, but
What's you said? Which one?
Undead Unluck.
Mm.
That's my shit, bro. I think they like on like in the 200s now, 260. Yeah, Undead Unluck is fire.
Yeah, if y'all haven't watched that, please be sure that you do. Like, I enjoy the show 100%.
Is that on Crunchy?
It's on Hulu, actually.
Hulu. See, I got to get my streaming services back because I feel like I'm missing out on a whole lot. Like,
yeah, see, I got a free Hulu service through T-Mobile, so that's how I'm watching. It comes with commercials and everything and whatnot, and I don't have live TV because I got YouTube TV. But yeah, it's
man,
it's what it is.
YouTube TV, man. I had to get out of it. They just went up the price to like $85 a month. I was like, yikes.
Yeah, they skyrocketed the price. The only reason why I kept it is because my mom and my brother watch it. So I'm like, okay, we gonna have to share this like price wise, because that $81 a month is literally like I might as well just get cable at that point.
Yeah, I just went on and canceled it, and I was like, I'm gonna just get the other streaming services that I wanted. That's what I just do instead of paying $80 for YouTube TV.
I mean, Hulu Plus Live is 90 something. If they haven't gone up on that,
yeah, it's getting fairly close to that. It was like they're going up to like 70 some odd change. And then what's really got me is that Disney Plus, the yearly subscription, shot up from $79.99 to $139.99. I was like, and what on God's green earth made y'all decide to do that bullshit?
Marvel.
But the wildest thing is Disney Plus is probably the cheapest streaming service right now. Like, because at first I canceled them, but I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna just keep it. And I look at Netflix. Netflix is like $15 just for. First of all, when did Netflix have ads?
Yeah,
I think
not my version.
When did they start ads? So it's like, and then
the premium is like $2.
HBO is like $16. Hulu is like $18 without the ads. I'm like, y'all wildin'.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That should be another portion of a segment next time we pod.
We can definitely talk about it, because Shogo High was talking about like how like the anime streaming services were going up, but I'm like, it ain't just anime streaming services. It's all these streaming services. They are absolutely insane. So that is definitely a topic for next time, because we definitely have to talk about this and how it's crippling us. But also, I'm big on paying the actors. So please be sure you're going to reach these prices. Please be sure that the actors get their fair share of this. So
yes,
I'm
pay the
definitely
actors,
down
but don't be on my behalf. How about the CEOs get a pay cut?
Not on my behalf.
Not on my behalf. Let the
I
CEO, let
understand
the
that.
CFO, let everybody get a pay cut. How about that?
Hmm. I'm down for that too. All right, we're going to move on because we got a couple of things that we have to touch on. One, y'all know I don't like invoking the name of Livingston Allen, aka DJ Academics, but I just had to, I had to bring this up because this dude, him and Saucy Santana apparently had a little back and forth, and of course, Livingston said some slurs and whatnot, and the thing is, it gets bad when Queen Latifah has to step in, and was just
Mhm.
like, you got a nerve, you got the nerve to be, to be popping off at the mouth on all of these people, and then the black women end up getting it the worst out of all of that. And
Because
I,
the issue was first with Young Miami,
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
and Santana was like, you getting buck at a female, why don't you get buck at a dude? And that's when they started going back and forth.
mm-hmm.
Mhm. It's
So
he keeps
Listen,
getting
I ain't
bucked
never
with
seen
people.
academics. I ain't never seen him with hands. So unless I see him fight somebody and actually come out as the victor, he need to sit down somewhere.
I ain't never
bro, he
seen him clap back at no dude in person. It's more so
well,
on the internet, really.
he he clapped back at like people like Freddie Gibbs. He has a beef with him, but there's only like maybe a couple rappers that he like actually claps back at or tries to, but he don't got smoke for anybody else that he be having these off comments with, and they be like, yo, who the hell you talking to, and then he shut up real quick. But then when it
Good
comes to
Right.
these
man.
women, he'll say all kinds of disparaging stuff against them, and I'm just like, who is this dude? Why did y'all give him a platform? I have a whole part on why he got the platform that he did, but still, I'm just like, yo, this dude is. I really can't stand this dude at all. Like, it's giving incel behavior. It's dude is stupid. He really rides Drake to no end, and maybe that's what it is. When he get his inspiration from being a toxic boy like Drake. That's
Mhm.
just my guess, but yeah, bro was just, I don't know. And then I had to ask if he was an actual DJ at one point in time, and it turns out he was once upon a time, but I don't know. Y'all gave this dude a platform. This dude has a whole podcast, and it's just like, yo, shut the hell up. Anybody who listens to this dude or takes what he says to heart or follows this dude around, I just got two words for y'all: touch grass. Because
Mhm.
yeah, bro is not it. It is not a. Oh, y'all thought I was gonna say the other thing.
It's not shit. Mhm.
That too, but yeah, he is just not a good person, and he is really not a good person to follow up on. And he's got his followers who will defend him to no end and whatnot. Bro has shit opinions. Bro can't critique anything, or he can't critique music fairly. He can't critique artists fairly. He's just not a good person. He's literally in the same realm as the box of people who I do not like talking about. Of course, if you've listened to this pod, there are a few people who I hate invoking their names. Onika Tanya Mirage Petty.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm gonna add her husband to that, Kenneth Petty as well. Uh, Daystar Peterson, Livingston Allen, and I feel like there's one more out there somewhere. But those, I know those are like the main group of people who I cannot absolutely stand talking about. And if you don't know what their real names are, y'all just do your research
Hey,
because I've said it multiple times at this point.
I know I'm probably late to this, but Incredibles 2 came out in 2018.
Yeah, about 5 years ago.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't know why I felt like it came out. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to the regular business.
Nah, it's no big deal, man. I'm glad that you actually brought something else up because I'm tired of ranting about those individuals, especially DJ Academics. Now, mind you, I'm not the biggest Saucy Santana fan, but then again, that's not my crowd. I'm not gay, so it's not something that I'm going to be listening to. I'm not going to be listening to his music. I'm not going to be following him because that's not my genre. That's not the kind of music that I want to listen to. And I have some issues with Saucy too, because dude is, I mean, whatever lifestyle that he lives, that's his own personal being, and y'all know that I have absolutely nothing but love for LGBTQ plus community. It's just I still can't get over the fact that because every time someone mentions Saucy Santana, I just have this disturbing video of him twerking to Changes by Tupac, and I was just like, no, that is the wrong song to
Bro,
do
that
that
is the
to.
funniest video I have ever seen in my life because you watch it on mute and you like, all right, twerk that ass, go on, big boy, and then you turn the audio on and you like, why am I here? You like,
Right,
what is
exactly.
going on?
That is not the visual I need right now. That's not a visual that I want to see anyway, but it's just like,
And
what?
what makes it worse is it was like during the Black Lives Matter thing, and I was like, is this what your PR team came up with? Like, let's go
Yo,
back to the drawing board.
But yeah,
That
it's
dude is
just
funny.
it seems that Big AK, as he likes to call
Hey,
himself,
yo.
always got
Absolutely not.
yeah.
I'm not calling that nigga that shit.
Well, I don't know why, but I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Livingston Allen, he always likes to have smoke for women and people who he thinks, are I guess people who he thinks are soft. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But
hold on, did Soldier Boy clap back at him for that? Because he big Draco.
I don't know if Soldier Boy clapped at Saucy. I know Soldier Boy clapped at J. Cole for no reason. He thought that I guess he was coming at him. I was like, J. Cole was giving his honest opinion about when he first heard you, and then he goes on to say that he actually respects you. But then you focusing on that first part, and this is like, dude, what the fuck? Read, listen to the comment.
He apologized or something today too, or some shit like that. But it's like after all the backlash, it's like it's too late now.
Yeah,
like
big dummy.
It's like, bro was out here actually giving you your flowers, but you popped off because he first said that he couldn't get into your music the first time he listened to it. A lot of dudes couldn't get into your music the first time they listened to it. Like, you go back to the Crank That era, there was a lot of OGs who was just like, yo, who is this? Like, this dude's music is trash.
Who is this?
Now, mind you, I was in high school during that period, so obviously I was with it. I was like, it ain't the most lyrical shit, but I'm a dance to his tracks because they're dance tracks. So that was my era. So
yeah, once you kind of like know what to expect from an artist, then it's like, okay, are you making good music in the field that you're staying in, the lane that you stand in? And that's kind of how I view it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going in, like I said, I like YG. I'm not going in expecting Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole out of YG. But I'm okay, are you making decent music in the lane that you in? And that's pretty much what I feel like, you know what I'm saying, J. Cole really should have said, but he had to be politically correct. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that.
But it's like also at the same time, like, how many more years can you continue to make choreographed dance tracks and it be relevant?
Yeah. And what's crazy if he
even make
came
music anymore?
He did some song a couple of years ago or something that was decent. That did numbers, but I think it did numbers because of TikTok. So it's more choreography. It's just now he just in the right moments to, if he wanted to keep making that music, because you do choreography dance tracks and then TikTok people make it famous. He should be capitalizing on that, but he too busy going on rants about going on rants and stuff.
I was the first person to drink chocolate milk on the school bus.
You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. Well, either way, guys, I just wanted to rant real quick about how I felt about Livingston Allen and his new vendetta with Young Miami and Saucy Santana, and just you down bad when Queen Latifah has to step in and say something. So and I was just like I was waiting for him to say something. Yeah, like, boy, don't you come for Dana. Don't you do it.
First of all, you got Queen Latifah coming out from under the dryer to clap back at you. You know you got a problem.
Right. So I'm just waiting for him to say the wrong thing. I'm like, boy, the moment you say something about Queen Latifah, the entire black community gonna look
Yeah,
at you like you lost
the
your ever
entire
loving
hip
mind.
hop community,
Oh, I
everybody.
say the whole platform away.
Yeah, at that point,
Oh,
I think he realized that's probably not a wise move, so he's not doing it. But still, yeah, I'm just waiting. It's like, boy, let me find out. Let me find out that you did some or say some shit to her. We gonna have issue. But
mm,
in any case, guys, real quick before we get to the main topic of tonight, I did at least want to give out a quick highlight. Missy Elliott is the first female hip hop artist to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it is so deserved.
About damn time.
Missy, yes, Missy, aka Miss Demeanor, she VA legend, Portsmouth legend, got a street named after her in Portsmouth now. Like
mm,
we, it is crazy just how innovative she was in hip hop as far as her videos, as far as her raps. Granted, they're not the most lyrical thing that you ever gonna hear in your entire life, but just her style of rapping, her
But you have to think of
again,
her
we talk
style at the time. Like what
mm.
yeah,
she
again,
was
that was
doing
It
her
at that
definitely
time,
matched.
nobody else was doing. And I
no, not
quite
at all.
remember when she first came out, folks was like, she mad weird. Who is this new bitch? And why she got a plastic
Mhm.
bag on? So like
Hey,
for
and
her to be
I like the message she sent.
but for her to still be relevant and a lot of folks that was talking shit about her, they ain't nowhere to be found. So
They
that
not.
goes to show.
They not.
And
And
she's still collabing with the new kids. So
I'm saying like she's still
Yeah.
collabing, she's still writing. She's still writing for a lot of people on top of that. Um
Mm,
and it's just me personally, I've always said that she was a great singer and she probably could have been a great R&B artist if she decided to go that route, because
mm.
if you listen to some of the background vocals of your favorite songs, if you listen to Tweet, if you listen to Total, um there's a couple of artists that are out there, but she's providing
well
those
she was
background
in an
vocals.
R&B
She
group.
was writing them songs.
She was in
Mhm.
an
Yeah, I
R&B
know.
group before, yeah.
So, she has a voice, and it's like a lot of people sometimes will forget that. I'm just like, yo, y'all know Missy can sing, right? And I had that conversation with some of my friends, and we were talking about just artists in general, and I had to say that, she's not like she's not Beyonce, but you listen to any of the background vocals, you listen to again some of these other tracks where she might be like a featured artist, or she might be if you look at the credits, you'll see her like in the background. y- those That's her.
Mhm.
There was a couple songs that I even forgot that she was background vocals for. I was like, oh shit, damn, I forgot about that one. And there's some that that I knew off rip, like Monica's So Gone. That chorus,
Yeah.
that's Missy.
Yep. They
So
somebody had uploaded like a whole video, like a bunch like thing, and it had like 20 different songs that we didn't know she sung background on. And it was
mhm,
like some Destiny Child songs. It was
yep.
some it was like some songs where you was like, dang, I didn't even know she was back there. So but to what Sapi was saying earlier when she was like she come in with a plastic bag on and stuff like that. Because she said the A&R execs was saying that she was too big to do music or something
Hmm.
like that. So she
Mhm.
ended up getting the trash bag and made it blow up to make her look bigger in the video. And I like that, like just sticking it to the fucking producers and shit like that. I like that.
Yeah, her creativity was beyond compare. So, if she happens to stumble across this podcast, I'm just want to give her all the flowers, because she was doing it in rap, she was doing it in R&B, she's doing it from the writer's perspective, the production perspective. Goodness, I'm stumbling over my words. She from
Dang, Missy
what
make you
I
feel
was
like that.
yeah, I'm saying she was also doing some A&R work for a lot of these R&B artists back in the day as well.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it's crazy. It's like, yo, Missy had a hand in everything. So it's
Mm.
really, really, really well deserved for her to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And all the props and all the flowers to her. I never got a chance to like actually see her face to face because there was a time where when her street was being revealed and whatnot, and they were having this big celebration over at Portsmouth. The marching force, they were out there to help celebrate. I couldn't go because I had to work. So that I was really, really, really disappointed. But
Damn,
still,
Daniel.
if I ever was up,
No, I was saying, damn, Daniel, you missed
oh
out.
yeah, I definitely did. And it's all good though, because again, if I ever get a chance to, meet her in person, I just, want to give her all the flowers and all the love because she absolutely deserves it for what she's done for music in general. So hats off to Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. You are appreciated, you are loved, and you are celebrated. And with that, now comes our favorite part of the pod, ladies and gentlemen, the main topic. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, this one is a doozy. We have decided to name this topic "The City of Atlanta versus Keith Lee." Now, this has been going on, of course. This happened a couple weeks ago, but it's a good time to talk about this now because we think Black American brunch culture should be a topic in general anyway. But we got to talk about how this restaurant and this interaction with Keith Lee, how it pretty much sent shockwaves, quote unquote, throughout the entire brunch system, and how this
The brunch
should.
system.
Yes, I'm calling this the brunch system because it is. Listen, when you listen to the beginning of this episode, you'll hear that beginning monologue, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, this is. I just have to throw that out there. Um, I'm going to at least give my opinions in a little bit, but I just have to laugh because of the situation that kind of brought this to light. Now we know that Keith Lee is a foodie, and he's an MMA fighter. He goes around, he tries out different restaurants. If you haven't followed his TikTok, please be sure that you do. He gives his review on the restaurants that he goes to and attends to. He has been fortunate and blessed enough to help different restaurant owners and different restaurants and different people in the community and help being able to uplift them and their spots. A restaurant could be doing poorly. He goes there, he enjoys the food, he posted on TikTok. Next thing you know, there's hours and hours long waits for those particular food spots. So
I didn't
naturally, of
know how much
course,
of an impact he has. That's crazy.
yeah, it's nuts. Now, the wrestling fan in me got confused at first when I first heard about him because there's a wrestler by the name of Keith Lee who is actually one of my favorite black wrestlers right now. And I was like, Keith Lee going out doing restaurants, and then I see his face. And I'm like, oh, the MMA fighter Keith Lee. Okay. So now that I knew the distinction, I started watching some of his videos and I see some of his interactions. And of course, someone always has to say something negative about him because they feel as though if he's when he gives a bad review, that it's bringing the business down and it's bringing black business down. And I just have to lay all the facts down here real quick before I get into my rant. Does anybody else want to like comment on this situation before I get into it?
No, you go first.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm about
Okay.
to say you do your thing.
All right. Let me just make one thing clear, yo. We got to hold ourselves accountable, black people. We
Amen.
just have to. There is no way that we can be successful out here if we're not holding ourselves accountable. If you are giving poor customer service or if you're giving poor quality food and then you just expect us not to be honest or expect him to be honest and maybe lie, that's going to affect his brand. Let's just keep it at that. But to get back on the topic, like if or rather if someone goes to your spot, tries your food, it's terrible, and he reviews it because people are depending on him to give a review of this certain spot, why would you expect him to lie? He's going to be 100% genuine and 100% honest. Now, you could have the best food in the world, but if your customer service is shit, what would you expect? And we can't just continue to let that happen, especially with brunch spots and black-owned brunch spots. It's more specifically Atlanta black-owned brunch spots. Now, I'm not a native of Atlanta, but I've heard enough and experienced enough of Atlanta culture to know what black brunch culture in Atlanta has, evolved or devolved to. I'm seen plenty of videos where brunch spots, and I have women twerking up in their booths with hookah smoke everywhere. And I'm just like, well, where's the food? Are we in? Is it a brunch spot or is it a club?
They just
What's going
serve
on?
salmon bites and lamb chops.
Right.
I'm saying,
$30
and
lamb chops.
right, overpriced food
For no reason.
for me with poor customer service. Why? For the ambiance, just the experience what the restaurant could be and what what brunch culture has become. Is this what we bought a vibe now? Is that all it is? We're paying for the vibe.
Yes,
Basically.
That's
absolutely.
what
That's
it
everywhere.
Yeah,
That is
that's what they
Basically,
absolutely
expect from you.
everywhere.
to answer your question, yes. Brunch is
Yeah, I'm
about
like, oh, okay, so that's what it is. I'm paying. It's not the fact that the food is incredibly expensive. It's not that. We're paying for the whole ambiance of the restaurant. That's what we're paying for. Okay, I see where
You're
this is going.
paying for grass walls
we're
and
paying
neon
for the
The
lights.
grass
And
walls.
neon lights.
And neon lights. That say good vibes only. Like, please.
we paying for the
Let's
blueprint.
be for real.
Yo, it is so mind-boggling how the brunch culture has just become. Now, this is not me saying that you should not go out and enjoy a good nice Saturday or Sunday brunch. By all means, I'm a fan of brunch. I would love and still love going out to brunch. It's just I want to make sure that I'm getting a great experience from a customer service perspective and for a food perspective. There's a brunch spot in DC called, well, it's actually a restaurant, but they serve brunch. It's a place called Succotash. Now,
Hmm.
I done been to both spots, one at the National Harbor and one in the middle of downtown. I had a great experience at both, especially the one that I went to recently in downtown during the Hampton Howard game. The customer service was beyond excellent. Yes, it was a little bit of a wait time, but that's only because we had to make a reservation and whatnot. We got a nice little spot up in the balcony. The food there that we got was incredible, a little pricey, but still incredible. And I get why it was expensive because of the kind of food that they served. But again, that was not my first time being at Succotash. So, and shout out to them. I'm not trying to give you guys free promo, but I just had to use y'all as an example. But still, that's the kind of experience that we are looking for when it comes to brunch. I'm not sitting here trying to go to a brunch spot where I have a 3 to 4 hour wait for overpriced food that's
Chicken and
mid
waffles.
and that doesn't allow me to sit and enjoy the company of my friends and family. Like I'm waiting 3 and 4 hours to maybe get 45 minutes to an hour in the booth for real, for real. Really, that's what we're doing. And then I get that there are going to be some brunch spots that have rules. I get that, and it comes with it, I guess. But still, some of these rules are absolutely ridiculous, and I don't get it. I do not get it, and neither did Keith Lee. How is it that he's going to go to a spot and was like, okay, well, it says it's closed, or rather, he let me get my thoughts together because the story is he wanted to go to this spot, and of course, he wanted to order his food before he got there. He could not do it. So he decides, they said that they're only taking orders through DoorDash. He goes on DoorDash. The restaurant says that it's closed. Okay, well, he still pulled up anyway, tried to get his family and whatnot. And of course, the restaurant says that they're closed because, due to cleaning and whatnot. Meanwhile, there are people still in there eating, still getting tables and getting serviced. What?
Mhm.
And then, of course, they find out that that's the family of Keith Lee, and they see that Keith Lee, and then they try to immediately serve him as opposed to serving everybody else. And of course, he declines because, as he said before, he is a regular person. He's just trying to be like everybody else, you know, have the same experiences. He's not trying to get that celebrity treatment. He just wants to go in, have some food, have good customer service, and be out, and then give y'all a review. Y'all try to treat him like a celebrity. And so, with that in mind, he was like, "Nah, you're not about to sit here and treat me special and not help anybody else out. I'm out,"
Mhm.
and went somewhere else.
Yep.
And this restaurant, of course, was called the Real Milk and Honey, which if you know the backstory of Milk and Honey and the real Milk and Honey, that's an interesting story. That's a whole nother pod that we got to that we could talk about, because
I thought
that's
I
a
was
crazy
tripping
ass
because
story.
there's a Milk and Honey in DC, and I was like, "Is this the same Milk and Honey?" And folks was like, "No." So I know the drama
Nah,
between that.
yeah, it's at least in Atlanta there was a brand split, or a split between
Mm.
management and whatnot. So yeah, um, that's
Is
just,
it food for copyright?
to be honest, I don't know. That's something that I have to look into.
I
All
mean,
I can say is that, when it comes to customer service, guys, like, I understand that there are going to be a lot of people out there who are just going to be, for lack of better term, digheads for no reason. It comes with the being, in customer service. You're going to get those assholes out there who are going to try and, shit on you or do whatever they can to make you look bad, because that's just who they are. But the majority of these people want a great customer service experience and want to have great food and, be able to enjoy themselves. I've been in the retail business long enough to know that customer service goes a long way, to
Mhm.
where not only will you get retention, but they can also make sure that that all their friends hear about it, and that's how you continue to get business. That word of mouth is something strong if your business and your customer service is top tier. But if you're getting out shit service, what did you expect? Now, I get why a lot of people didn't speak up, because I guess people in Atlanta just kind of got used to it and got numb to it. So they were like, well, this is just Atlanta, brunch culture. This is what it is. But I'm glad that Keith Lee actually opened up some eyes and actually made some people brave. And I'm like, you know what? Why are we paying for shit service? Why are we paying, you know, $60, $70 for some damn chicken and waffles that should only be maybe be 20? Why are we
Mhm.
paying to wait in 3 and 4 hour lines just to be serviced for like maybe only an hour, and then we got to get up for the next customer? Why are we paying to experience something like that? That should not be the end goal. And as a restaurant owner, your main goal should be to offer great customer service and to offer great food. But instead, because Keith Lee said something negative about you, some of your folks had the audacity to go and make a post about it, like, and who was Keith Lee? And boy, did that work in your favor. Goodness
Now,
gracious, boy, talk about shooting yourselves in the foot again. Like, damn, it's bad enough that
Folks
he
was
had to go out and
empty.
say something. It's another for you to go out and actually degrade your own service and just show just how shitty you really are. Like, thanks, guys. Thank you for showing us that Keith Lee was telling the truth. Now your business is probably gonna tank.
yep.
But
yeah. And it's
I'm gonna
we
get off my
watching
high
them
horse about that.
crumble.
What you say,
Mm,
Steve?
I said, and we low key watching them crumble. Like
yeah.
somebody did a walkthrough of that area, and their building was
Empty.
completely empty, and then the one next door was packed. The one that Keith Lee actually went to. So I'm like, hey, y'all might need to make an apology, maybe get him out there to come eat. Like something needs to get done. Like,
Definition of biting the hand that feeds you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for sure. Um, but it's so annoying, just and like how you were saying, we need to accept accountability as Black people, and it's also like it's just annoying how like he been doing this and he been critiquing it and stuff like that, and now people was all like, oh, he gonna mess around and beef with the wrong one and somebody gonna kill him. I'm like, bro, George Zimmerman is still walking around, and you niggas is talking about fighting and
A
hurting
food
somebody
review.
that ain't doing shit wrong, but critiquing, but for doing a fucking review. Meanwhile, you got niggas like George Zimmerman still walking around, and all of a sudden now, this is the nigga that y'all want to get at and shit. Like that shit has always whacked me. That shit is annoying. It's crazy, bro.
And it's crazy because Keith Lee says in his videos, like, yo, don't make disparaging comments towards the company, don't make disparaging comments towards the workers, you
Mhm.
know, you can stay, don't do anything that's going to put anybody's family in danger, but especially mine. Keith Lee had to
Mhm.
make that clear, because the dude is an MMA fighter, y'all. I don't think y'all about to walk up on this dude, or roll up on this dude, like,
They're
unless
not.
y'all really just want to, see Jesus early. But
Like, bro, the nigga got 4 losses total on his record.
right.
So, and not over 20 wins, and those are professionals. Like you, Joe Blow off the street is finna get hurt.
I'm saying. I'm saying, but
About to get
in
clipped.
any case, man, like he tries to, tell his fans and whatnot, do not, be negative towards this business. But then when you're a business and you be negative back and you show that you are indifferent towards his opinions and whatnot, now everybody looking at you like, well, oh, okay, well, he was telling the truth the whole time about y'all customer service. So yeah, we're gonna go over here instead. And it's just I just have to say this again, like we have to be able to hold ourselves accountable when it comes to these things, like especially when it comes to brunch, especially when it comes to these new age hairstylists. Um in anything that we do, we just have to be sure that we hold ourselves accountable and continue to offer great service because that's how we get our business. I'm not gonna sit here and pay $300 for you to retwist my hair, and then you want me to come with it, pre-washed and not have this, that, and the other and whatnot. And it's just like, come on, bro, really? Is that what we doing? And I know I've had this talk with Johnny before on this pod as well, but it's the same thing. Like, y'all, we just have to do better overall in general. And as a people, we need to hold ourselves again accountable so that way we can fix whatever's wrong. And then for next time when new customers come in, they can have a more enjoyable experience. And then when they have it, they can tell their friends, and their friends can come in and continue to bring in revenue.
And I'll say this
It's
too, KJ. It's a difference between knowing your price or knowing your worth and just gouging.
mm-hmm.
Because it's just like, okay, what are you doing that is going to suffice for me to pay you, like you said, $300 versus me going to someone else who is charging $70 and they're giving me, like you said, the wash, the retwist, the style, you know what I'm saying, the whole nine, and it lasts. You feel me? The people that are doing it for the 300, you go there on Monday and you looking like Sunday by Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's a difference. It's a difference between paying for somebody's worth and actually paying for quality service. I would much rather have quality over quantity.
mm-hmm. Hey man, you ain't say nothing but a word, man. You ain't say nothing but a word. Any other comments?
I do have a comment. I just want to shine light on. I forgot the name of the restaurant that he went to, but it was a gentleman who had a food truck for I guess it was wings, and it was so beautiful how he was just like, "Oh, I heard that you were around the area, and I was so scared for you to come because I'm just starting out, and I don't I'm not prepared for a big food critic like you to come." And he's like, "Sir, it's fine. I just want to try out the wings. People say that it's really good." And I think he came back again the next day because he was like, "These wings are just so good." And the dude already had a line waiting for him, and he wasn't even open yet. So I mean, it just goes to show if you really stick to what you love to do and you put your all into it, people gonna come. And
Mm-hmm.
I really want to try these chicken too because the way this dude was sounding, sound like this chicken wings is popping.
That's really what it's all about. As you said, if you love what you do, and then if you love being able to serve other people and just being a foodie in general, um, if I know that I'm going to love a spot and I go to the spot and I absolutely love it and I love the customer service, I'm gonna keep coming back. And so to have someone like Keith Lee be able to go to that spot, enjoy it, and then being able to bring business to that food truck, that just shows, what it really means to actually help these restaurants out and help them thrive. Like we can be successful if we just even just follow basic principles. Yes, there's more that goes into, you know, black businesses, especially being in the food business. There's a lot that goes into it, but just the simple things as having great customer service, it's gonna go a long way. And then having great ass food on top of that is gonna take you even further.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
any more
and
comments on it?
even and then the people like that's not even doing their homework talking about he's tearing down black businesses and all of that, or tearing down businesses in general. But he like his whole thing has been going to these businesses and then he's
Mhm.
changing their lives by how busy that they are and stuff like that. So I don't understand where that is coming from. I don't know if it's just, you know what I'm saying, niggas that don't, they're just following some kind of wave or whatever. But like, if you just new to this and you just feel like Atlanta is the only place where black people was at, because like he's been all over the country going to different black businesses and helping them out. So I don't understand where it's coming from, where they talking about he destroying black businesses either. Like
But
that
you
shit is
think
wild.
about it too. So boom, if you got a 7 out of 10 on your chicken, right? And Keith Lee reviewed it. That makes people want to go see, okay, let's see if the chicken is actually 7 out of 10. And then you actually go, and in your opinion, it's a 10 out of 10. Guess what? It's going to build amongst itself. Like, granted, it just might have been his flavor palette. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, they're mad at him for his opinion. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like he's a food critic, bro. He not yelling at nobody. He not doing nothing crazy. Gordon Ramsay is going in there throwing plates at niggas. And ain't nobody fucking shitting on this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like
they are just like, yes, chef.
Like this nigga Gordon Ramsay throwing plates at niggas. The other nigga on Bar Rescue fucking doing all sorts of crazy shit. Keith Lee is literally like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is my experience. And he says the same thing like Ked said earlier. This is my opinion. Don't go in there and spam hate it just because of my opinion. Go try it yourself. Exactly. He's never been hateful. So I don't understand why, you know what I'm saying, that animosity is going towards that dude.
Is this still cancel culture being prevalent in today's day and age?
Yes. Very much so.
The way that I feel about cancel culture, you can't cancel me if you never fucked with me anyway. So how you not really canceling me? You know what I'm saying? Like I can understand. Like if you was somebody that was always listening to my podcast and then you cancel me, that's different. But random niggas like that never fucked with Keith Lee anyway, talking about they canceling him. You never fucked with him, so how are you canceling him?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then it goes back to that thing. Like if he goes into a restaurant and gives nothing but good reviews, you know, and lies, and then you go to that restaurant and it's the worst experience ever, you're gonna look at him like you're not telling the truth. So, you know, that's why he always says that he has to be honest with these things, and he's gonna be 100% honest. Because one, he wants to be sure that everyone has a great, you know, their own experiences. But two, that's gonna affect his brand. If I go up in there, if I'm a food critic and I go up and I say, "Oh yes, this is the greatest food that I've ever had in my entire life," when it really was shit, and then y'all come in that bitch and y'all be like, "Yo, y'all go come at me and be like, hey, yo, you told me that this food was the greatest thing that happened on planet Earth, and yet I go in this bitch and it tastes like a pack of ass. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, why did you have to lie?" And that goes back to the the anger translator for Keith Lee. If y'all haven't seen those videos on TikTok,
bro, that video is hilarious.
I think dude's name was Farad or something, but yeah, he is absolutely hilarious doing that. He's just like, bitch, do you want me to be honest?
The way he does his mannerisms too.
It is so funny because it's just a crazy experience. But this is pretty much my opinion on this. Atlanta brunch culture has to change. You know, a lot of things in Atlanta has to change. Like, I done seen that meme. I don't know where I got the meme from, but someone had the Atlanta GA destruction button, and I immediately downloaded that. Like, yep, that is going in the clip because too many times has Atlanta been a trending topic for the wrong reasons on social media. So yeah, that Atlanta GA destruction button is definitely needed for this. Like the whole Atlanta brunch culture needs a reset. So in the case of the city of Atlanta versus Keith Lee, we, the jury, find the plaintiff Keith Lee innocent, not guilty. And of course, we find the city of Atlanta brunch culture guilty of all the charges. So please be sure that you change. Yes, please be sure that you change this brunch culture around, guys. Customer service first and foremost, above everything else. You treat your customers right, everything else is gonna follow.
Customer service, get paid.
Exactly. Yep.
Back to the drawing board.
So with that, are there any new businesses that anybody wants to highlight real quick before we do the rundown and get the hell up out of here?
New business. I didn't even thought of nothing like that. That's an interesting thing.
Okay, well, um, if there are none that we can think of, Steve, you can of course talk about Blur Mind Productions. That's something that we can
Oh
add to the
yeah.
list.
Blur Mind Productions is something that I had started, a company that I started. It's my webtoons, but we also went the route of making audiobooks. So we're doing audio dramas, and they're on Spotify right now. We have Wake the Dead going right now. We have Crossroads and Confessions coming soon, which is in productions right now. And then we're trying to do this other one. It's called If You Let Me, but that's going to be way down the line. But we're coming up with a lot of audio dramas. We're trying to do that and do the webtoon. So yeah, man, it's a company started by me and Alpha. And we just really just trying to get it, trying to help out some voice actors that wanted to get into voice acts and practice, and that helps us out as well. So, but yeah, man, that's just something that we're coming up with. We're still in the works, and we've been going for about a month now, and it's actually been really well so far. So I appreciate everybody that's been supporting. We just got to 880 listens already. So in a month, I think that
Mm,
that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
great,
Like,
man.
yeah. So we just try to keep going.
Word, word, word. I'm definitely adding that to the list here. So whenever we do the rundown, of course, we will always remember to mention Blur Mind Productions.
Yeah,
So,
appreciate it.
all right, guys, if there be no other new business, we are gonna go ahead and do the rundown and then sign off. So if this is your first time listening to the Chaotic Culture podcast, the rundown, of course, is where we give shout outs to all of our podcast content creators, black artists, and black businesses who have either been a part of this show or who have supported this show in one way or the other. So with that, we always will start with our podcast. And then I'm gonna divvy it up amongst our members, once we get a solidified list again. But things have changed, of course. So with that in mind, shout out to Shogo High inside the mind of a blurred. I gotta throw the other two gangs that I'm a part of. Shogo High will be coming this Friday as well. If you are listening to it on the day that this episode drops, please be sure that you tune in to us as we part about the happenings that are happening in anime, which will again be this Friday, November 11th. So be sure that you tune into that. Uh, at least I think it's November. It might be November 10th. November 10th. I'm sorry. Getting my days mixed up. But anyway, yeah, it'll be this Friday on X, live on X Spaces or Twitter Spaces, whatever. Definitely shout out to Law. He just had to dip. But yeah. Shout out to Mike Check Waifu, Worst Generation Pod, and Blaname Podcast. Of course, I am a Patreon subscriber to all three of those podcasts, as well as a Patreon. I think am I a Patreon subscriber inside the Mind of a Blurred, Steve? Yeah. If not, I
I
need
think
to.
so.
Okay.
Let me go check.
But I
But
mean, yeah. I mean, I'm part of the podcast anyway, but I definitely need to be a Patreon subscriber anyway. Oh, I am because I
yeah,
still
yeah,
get the
yeah. I
update.
think you
Duh.
are.
So yeah, all right. So big shout out to Mike Check Waifu, Worst Jan and Blaname, and definitely big shout out to Worst Jan and Blaname, who are collectively known as Anime After Dark. Please be sure that you tune into Anime After Dark CH on X Spaces every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, big shout out to the Truth and Transparency podcast with Brother X, the culture scientist, and Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith just got engaged to his sweetheart. So dang, that whole pod about to be married. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all doing big things over there. Definitely got to have y'all on. We may have y'all on for the Retrieval episode if y'all are available. So definitely would love to include y'all. Shout out to the session with Jay and Trey. I'm not sure when it's gonna come back, but hopefully it will. But both of them are two band directors doing their thing. So yeah, Kay Renee is getting her podcast back together. So shout out to her when she does. But please be sure that you check out her novellas under the pen name Sedona Rose, which is available on Amazon Kindle. Shout out to It's So Real with Raquel and Onaji. Shout out to Dad Needs to Talk with Rob, the father of Ash. And I'm a little cool where shit gets critical. Geek Set Podcast. Anime Junkies, 3 Weaves in a Podcast. Those Anime Girls. Anime's Anime, and of course, a shout out to my boy Jay Mills and The Commute. With black content creators, of course, we got Black Anime with Aaron, HBCU Anime with Evan. Shout out to Sundari with our girl Erica. Definitely shout out to Cerberus Entertainment, Shout out to Tatted Poodle and the Geechee Gamer, who are both major streamers. Definitely shout out to those girls doing big things. Of course, shout out to Icarus Metro Comics with my boy Calvin. Shout out to Hubtaku. Y'all already know. Hubtaku has been doing a lot of work. So if you have not been paying attention, please be sure that you follow them on all social media. They've been putting in a lot of work. Definitely shout out to Shelby with Simply Janine, Simply Baked, and Rose Less Traveled. Big shout out to Strange Keith with Idols Icons. Definitely got to give a big shout out again to Toasty Marshmallow. Simone with By Simone Malcolm. Courtney with None of My Friends Watch Anime. And now officially Scuba Steve and Alpha with Blurred Mind Productions. For our Black artists, shout out to our very own NASA, of course. Shout out to our boy Scoozy. Shout out to Jack Union, Phil.me, Ellis Quinn, RJ Stackhouse. Shout out to our boy Quarter. As always, shout out to Tyrone Leak Jr., who has once again provided us with a dope intro and outro. So definitely shout out to Tyrone for that. We appreciate you, bro. Shout out to a girl, Ari Lachelle, who was actually at Hampton's Homecoming and got a great experience as well. And she's been doing big things with the music. So please be sure that you follow her. And shout out to our boy Zach Hines with Fortresses, our girl Elena, and of course our girl Zaynab. And then for Black businesses, already paid by Dre, Fresh Nerds Righteous Minds by Timo, KSS Brand by Christina, Cream Cosmetics by Naima, Mind Over Money by Miss Tremaine, Studio Maho with Pat and Yin, Concept Moon, She Designs Too with Aaron, Black Magic / Lit Wands with Low and T, H4 Creative by Miss Zenobia, Real Estate Stone by Miss Meredith, Sold by Bell by Miss Mariah, GVO with our girl NASA again, Coasters Bar and Grill, which of course is located here in Hampton at Buckrow Beach, and Scrappy Sentiment with our girl Sappy. That is the rundown, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Khaotic Culture Podcast on your favorite DSP. Be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon for early access to podcasts and bonus episodes of the podcast. You can subscribe at any of the 4 levels, whether it be $3, $5, $7, or $10. Doesn't matter. We still appreciate your support. Be sure that you go to patreon.com/Khaotic Culture Pod to subscribe. You can follow our Facebook page at Khaotic Culture Podcast. You can also follow us on IG at Khaotic Culture Pod and follow us on X/Twitter at Khaotic_Culture. You can follow me, Kat the Pro, that's K3D the Pro on all social media. You can follow Miss NASA at _call me NASA on all social media. You can follow Law on IG at L.JR_96 and on Twitter at Law96_. You can follow Miss Sappy at Scraps14 on all social media. You can follow Johnny on all social media at JLeeTrey. And of course, you can follow Scuba Steve at Scuba Steve1428 on all social media. And this has been another edition of the Khaotic Culture Podcast. So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules. Be blessed, be safe, God is love. 2 up, 2 down.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue. All the latest topics guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel just like you're a kid again. Kid the Pro and friends, black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
You are now tuned in to the Khaotic Culture Podcast. And